Oh, welcome to Victoria University. My name is Namulengo Stephen. I'm an accountant, a teacher, and I work with Victoria University. Today, I'm glad to meet you in your various homes, in your various capacities. I know some of us don't want to be where we are at this time, especially business people. We are going to look at some few things we are going to share. I'm going to talk like a business person, a Ugandan, affected by whatever is going around. I'm not going to use much English. I wish I could know your language, whether in Panyamur, Budaka, Manafa, Guru Pader, you're welcome. We're looking at what should we do as business people. There's one thing I want us to know. Whoever is born on earth is a business person, is a politician. Don't let yourself not know that. The first thing we have to do before you do any business or when you're in business is have faith in God. Have confidence in yourself. If you go to business and you're not confident, you are finished. It doesn't matter whether you're a student. It doesn't matter whether you know English. Ni watu wamanya luzungu, hata Kiswahili inatosha, usijali. You see? But one thing is love your business. And when you say love, it means you're going to sacrifice. You're going to set aside everything, time, language, friends, family, even yourself. So wherever you are seated, you're a business person. You're a great person. Now, every activity which you do in public is a business. And let us always think about it as profit-making activity. Otherwise, we shall just be busy. Ogenze owino, you are just making noise, you are just busy, you are not in business. So wherever you go there, think of what value am I adding to these people? And maybe what value am I adding to me? Sit down sometimes and review. Before you go to business, I'm sure there was a dream you had. Maybe to buy a car, but otherwise some people will go like others are doing it. Let's go. Today. But that's not correct. Sit down today. Today you have time. Some of us work in places where timetable, you don't have time to think, but I thank God for this time, that you are there. Look at what you are doing. Can it stretch and cover the time you have? Are the actors, your employees, yourself, customer, supplier, your relatives, are they supporting you? If not so, maybe you are the wrong person in a wrong place at a wrong time. Now, there's something we call financial performance. Financial performance, we are looking at what we have put there. Is it producing? Are we wasting time? Just sit there. Since the corona was set, what value have you, what new thought has come to your mind? Then you're in business. But if you're only worried, there's a problem, there's a problem. Let me look at a friend who is in Paida, or maybe Wanseko, or Lwahaha, or Nimule. You are very worried, they have closed. But this is the time to look at what should I do next? Because you have so many contracts as you enter business. And we call it Nexus of Contracts. Look at what share. This is the time to make calls and get new customers. If you're a teacher, please don't say that you're not in business. Everything you do, even a preacher. By the way, when you go to the road and you are preaching, there's something in your mind. What profit am I adding to heaven? Even the Quran has something in it. That look at three areas: individual, the population, and then after year. Now, let's look at what are we selling. You're in Owino. You're in Kamocha market. What are you selling? Look at, are you having customers? Why are they buying from your neighbor, not you? How do you behave? How do they accommodate you? How do they welcome you in the market. You are a driver. If you don't love your job and you see the behavior of the market liking you, then you're in the wrong place. Then we have to look at what are the cash flows in that market. Don't go to the market where you are the giant. You are wasting time. Go to the market where you fit, where you are competing. And wherever there is time for, if you want to have a good performance, to earn a surplus, or what we call profit, or a magoba, you must be able to manage expenses. There are expenses you can never fail to manage. One, even yourself, you must have a salary. Even if you are running a business in your own house, imagine that suppose I was paying rent. Or suppose I was, even if you're getting free water, so that you can compete. Because one time you may have to shift to an area where they do this. We must always have what we call a sacrifice lamp before this shock normally comes around. If you're a lecturer or an auditor, like some of us, please do not rush for the road. Use that time for better things. Have somewhere, it doesn't matter whether you're going to do something a little not so holy the way you want it. Whether you're a pastor, please go behind. Make some sukuma weekend. Tomorrow the child goes and sells. Forget about fun. Don't over-sympathize with yourself and your neighbors. If you are going to be a sympathizer, I think even the Quran doesn't want it. Even the Bible says, those who don't work, do not eat, should not eat. Even the sitting room as a child, don't just be there relaxing. Look around. Papa, what do we do? Be a partner. Don't be a liability. A liability means you are causing people to think about how do we eliminate you? How do we remove you? Then have strategic networks. Do not go to people who praise you so much. If you are teaching in the village, mwalimu abitise wano, mwalimu aise wano, o mwalimu amepita hapa, ama mkurugenzi, honorable amepita. In fact, you will become horrible the following day, and you will not like yourself. It doesn't matter who you are today. So many people have fallen from grace to grace. Please, for you, rise from grace to grace. By looking at strategic people, go somewhere where you can identify your customer. A customer is somebody very, very important. A customer is a person who likes what you have. My customer, for instance, I'm a teacher, is my student. Where do I get him and teach and gives me money? A doctor doesn't want you, sorry to say, to be very healthy. Sometimes he wants you to be slightly sick. Like now they really have a business. They can even scare everybody that if you get out, we are all finished. No, I'm sorry to say that, but all they are in business. But I'm saying, as we do this, we should have ethics. We should be ethical. Right now, we can see when our people are very sincere, even the politicians who are liars are telling the truth. Mugenda kufa if you don't do this, if you don't do that. And that's what we want. When you're in business, tell the people the truth, such that they can always give you their time and their resources. When you're in business, there are three things you have to look at. What is costing me to enter the business? What value should I enter in the business so that I can make a profit? Because, for instance, if I want to set up a goat's business, and let us look at these cows which people are buying and being contributed. Sometimes you may end up having more problems than business. You may be very busy, but you're not in business, right? Because all the time you are looking for, you are just too busy, but in the end you get 2 liters of milk in the evening. Now, what are you in business? You're just busy. So make sure that the volume of what you are selling is enough to cover the costs, basic costs. What you looked at as salaries, rent. If you don't cover them, don't move out. You're going just to be busy. You're not going to be in business. Then add an element of profit. Don't live a life which is profitless. Whether you're in school, whether you are in a dispensary, at least let somebody miss you. Let somebody miss your activity. Say, if he was here, if she was here. Look at yourself in a Guru market. If you leave that place where you are seated, would people miss you? Is there anybody missing you as a conductor on the road? If somebody is doing so, then you are in a business. Look at yourself as an askari. If you are not there and everything is standing, then you are in the business. Anything you do it, and you do it with all what you love, is business, as long as it gives you additional value. Now, try to look for non-value adding expenses and habits. Donating sugar to please an auntie. Giving 2 beers from the bar to a friend who has passed by. Or giving to voters for saying thank you. Afterwards, they say, let's eat what he has stolen from us. And pay attention to related party transactions. Related parties means uncle, wife, child. If you sell to your wife a car, she may pay a quarter price. Members, we are going to have a short break and we shall come back. Don't go away. We shall have some time again. Welcome back from the break. I'm sure you're waking up because everybody's in business and we are going back. Can you imagine where you left last time? The room is as dirty. You don't know where to get the next coin. Now it comes up to our point. How do you finance your business? If you keep borrowing money to set up your business, to stay, in fact, you will be staying busy. You'll not be in business, staying busy. Age will catch up with you. Even God's angels will come to collect you when you have not left anything. So make sure that your business finances itself. If you are a nurse in Nebi, if you are a nurse, or if you are a road sweeper in KCCA, and you don't use your transport to come to Kampala, eat, and go and rent a house, you're not in the business. If you can do that and you remain in something to pay fees for your children, maybe set up some kiosk to sell some veggies, you are in business. So let your activities be self-financing in the long run at least 1 year. And a business, like any human being, gets sick. How does it get sick? You may end up relying on borrowed money. You may end up operating on losses. You may be ending up not sure about tomorrow. Some people, when you ask them about are you making any profit? So normally look for the doctors for the business. These are accountants, auditors. Please don't forget a taxman to come and look around. Don't fear him. Do not do anything illegal. If you do illegal things, you lose a business. And make sure that you pay everything for government. You know, government is us. Government is not His Excellency in Entebbe. If you go to Entebbe and say, where does government sleep? They will not show you. It is you and me with government. And we must maintain this country. And the way of maintaining is to pay our statutory dues. At least pay that local service tax. Let nobody come and close your business. Or take you to court. And as we look at that, look at your returns. If you're not making profits, then you may be in a wrong place. You may be in a very wrong place. If you find a place where they are resisting you every time this is wrong. I don't know to solve the day. Oh no, I go again. You stand up in your room and say, God, what is not very wrong with me? In fact, don't say what is right with me, but what is very, very wrong with me. Then you start from there. The basic knowledge you should have about any business is these 3 letters, which you call, when you are there, they normally talk about a balance sheet. And when people go to school, they speak some English to confuse you. But it doesn't matter. You don't need English to know these things. The only thing is, what do I have? What are the resources on hand? Mine. And that is what we call assets. As an asset is something you own. You have paid for it. You have labored for it. You have expectations that somewhere, sometime, I'll get something out of it. Capital. That means what you have, which you did not intend to be in business, but you have brought it such that you have risked it. You have bringing it, say, possibly it will produce. Now, let's look at a student. Maybe you're a student in Lugazi, Jinja, or Iganga. Or maybe in Buikwe, somewhere. You go to school, they have given you your pocket money. You may make a difference by saying, the pocket money they have given me, 100,000. Let me buy airtime and go and sell to these people. And of course, you'll get it at a profit. Now, if you cannot buy everything, then you'll go and borrow. And you become liable. And you call them liability. That means if you fail to pay them, then the courtman will say, you are liable. Either they imprison you or they cut your benefits or something like that. Now, when you're in business, like now, we are going back to business. Some of us have small businesses. We are very worried. But look around your house. Just check behind you. There's that TV you don't need. Maybe you have even 6 TVs. But the business you are going to borrow, do you really need 3 TVs in your house? Do you need 5 cars? Do you need 6 cameras? You are not an expert in cameras, but you have 16. What for? Then, what else we call them? Non-operating, non-current assets. Some of us, we just accumulate. Wherever we see land, we are buying. Wherever we see a house, we are buying. Then in the end, they don't make any profit to us. And we are crying. We go to the house, they charge us interest of 20%, 50% per month. Then which means per year you are taking 240% to get a loan. And you think you are in business, actually you are busy. And yet you have assets. So those ones which are not supported, which are not generating revenue, please harvest them. Means sell them off and feed the other ones. So when you are coming from the local down, look around. What don't I need? It may be a bicycle. It may be anything in the house. For you who is a worker, it may be your spare time. Because your spare time you have is your asset. Go and work somewhere else. Forget about boss, asante, afande. Forget about it. Go and do something else. If you're a student, before you go to school, look around. How many jerrycans of water can you carry? At 500 now, or even 700 some places. How much money can you make in a week? So that you are in business. And make sure that the profits you are making are cash backed. Don't sell things on credit anyhow. When we go back to our places of work, okubanja kizibu nnyo. Deni. Kukopa ni harusi. Kulipa ni matanga. Sio? So we must be very, very, very careful when we are lending. Look at who are you selling an asset on credit. Who are you giving your time on credit? If you are teaching, if you are not an accountant, if they cheat you for 3-4 months, my friend, think twice. Start investing somewhere else somehow. If you are sure, maybe because of lockdown they have failed, maybe they're there. But this is a person. So I know some schools where they pay you after one year and you just get rumors. Forget about that profit. It's not correct. Then always make some gymnastics, we call it. Keep fit in the market. Try to look at how others in the same line are doing. How are they doing? Are they better than me? Am I better than them? Are we okay? Do research. Research does not mean, you forget about these big words which make people delay passing. No, forget about that. Research is, what is that one itching you, which you want information about? How do I get it? Ask my sisters, my daughters, I know I tell them, they give information freely. Move around the market. Find out, who am I in this market? babuuze nze mundaba mutya mbuulira. Then be active, look ahead, and then observe. They can tell you, when you're around, of course, people tell you you're always good. Now, sometimes you just show them the back. They show the longest tongue at you, knowing that you have a problem. Then, when you're in business, manage time. Make sure that you have, in my next session, I'm going to look at time, risk, and return. But briefly, I'll say that timing is very important for every activity, whether it is marriage, whether, I'm sure even death. You must die at a correct time. If you overstay, people will just start, watch it again. Death, life, everything has time. So in business, now there are these masks I've put off mine for purposes of this session. People are investing, they're fighting over how to invest, what do I do? But when you go there, you must have a good risk appetite. If you fear risk, you cannot go such things. But as you have risk, look at the return. What profit am I going to get? Don't joke the business which does not give you profit. You are wasting time. On the earth, we have very few days. They're not very many. Some of us are in borrowed time according to African standards. So you who are still young, get to know. Don't waste times like us, the grandfathers. Make sure that you are there. Forget that fence. Get out. Let people know you. No. If you underinvest in a skill or a business, you will also underreap. Why? There's this thing we call assets. Don't borrow money, too much money, to be in a business. Get money, if possible, which is cost-free, including your savings. Like now we are going back after the lockdown, some 2-3 weeks from now. There is cost-free money from the borrowing. You have saved the transport. Even if you are crying, you have not been paying transport. It's not true. So when you go back, use that money to start something small. I think most of us have learned something, that I must have something. Some people have sworn, the moment I go back, at least a charcoal sack, something we have learned. Then look at the way you accumulate your assets. Don't over-accumulate, because you will work at what we call excess capacity. Like vehicles you are parked there, tolina driver, tegasa. One ebizimbe tebigasa, tewali renter, so you are operating what we call at excess capacity. Buli kyofuna, let it be producing. Don't go to business which is not producing. Even education. Don't just go to have at 10 degrees, but let it produce something. If you are just accumulating, you will become a professional student, which is not wonderful. Then, know how to get your assets. Do not always hurry to spend too much money on very big assets. Some assets in town are for hire. For instance, if I want to go to my village and maybe show them that I've slightly gone to school and I know some small English, I can go and hire a vehicle for 2 weeks. And I drive around. When you come from school, especially at the younger age, when you are leaving university, some of you are going to graduate very soon. Others have just graduated. You take your pay slip, show them, they will give you an asset. And you pay maybe in 24 months. It can be a car, it can be a TV. You can even, better, you can get a printer, a photocopier, and then you lease a hall. You can start everything by your own credit, as long as it's not costly. And you must love it and marry it. Please don't do part-timing with the business. It will never grow. You are lying. It doesn't matter. I like my bosses. Every time they pass around to see, I like them. And I know what it means. If you don't love your business and you give it time, it will never grow. It will die with you. Then try to look at productive capacity of your assets. Don't wait for your asset to overgrow before you sell it off. If it's a car, like Ugandans, when it reaches somewhere, I say, nonyeza ya katali. Nyaga kuchuse number. We keep changing, but check the productivity. Then, the reward you give to investors, weigh it. GPME. Don't overpay and you remain with too small. Have bargaining power. And make sure that among the people you are paying, it is yourself you are there. You have a salary. Make sure that you are earning interest somewhere or on free money. The profits, it is the cheapest source of funding. Tewala asasuza interest ku profits. So make sure you invest that profit. It is free, free, free. It doesn't matter. Okay. Bwogenda mu business. Tugenda kusanga yo sente zivaawa. Naye sente or biashara. The Swahili say biashara. It means pata potea. When you get, it's wonderful. If you don't get, you go home and say, yeah, tomorrow, I'll come back. Now, the form of business you have will decide on which financing you will get. If you are forming a company, you can get shares, all right? You can ask other people to come and be part of your business. Or you can call them to give you money, and you pay them at future time. Or, like most of these bus companies, and maybe some taxis and some, you get what you call a finance lease. One time you will buy it. They remain with the card until you finish. Then, tulinayo sources which are short term. You can go and get goods. Like if I finish my school, the time I finished my school, sorry, I went to a shop, I got some few things. I said, please, 1 week. And I was in a business. So business does not need you to think. If you think too much, too big, you will end up having a dream and not a vision. There's a difference between a vision and a dream. A dream, even you wake up and say, hey, it's not there. Now, to be a good business person, you must be reliable. Let people not doubt you. You must be honest, even to yourself. But even if you're not reliable and honest, please try to appear that you are reliable. Sometimes it presses you. I don't know whether I should declare to Dad. Please, surprise him that, Dad, I wanted to keep this money and it remained. There you are being honest. And before anybody trusts you, you must have character. For instance, there are some people who fail to pay loans, not because they have money, but that is how they are. That's how they are grown. Then there are those who don't have assets. I don't know whether you have seen a drunkard. A person, before he drinks, he cannot convince a bad person. They have a language, but of course that is not a language which brings out character. After you fail to pay, they will doubt you. Let the financiers trust you. So when you're in business, please be reliable to yourself. Now, for this session, let's learn one thing. Everybody is a business person. Everybody is a politician. But how we do it? We must do it with a profit. Let's not over-squeeze others. That is unethical. Politics is a word which comes from police. It is a Greek word. It came because of city-states. So to be in a city, you must be able to survive. You must have a language. You must be busy. That means you must be in business, and which means must be paying you a profit. Thank you very much for this session. Thank you, as we wait on. Welcome back, viewers. I don't know. Please give me some few minutes. This time I want us to share something quite interesting about timing. I wanted to get back timing and risk appetite. When you talk about risk appetite, I'm back to risk appetite because the higher the risk, the higher the pay. If you go in a situation whereby if it's like jumping over a rope, the lower the level of jumping, the less the clapping. The higher you jump, the more they clap. The business is like that. The more we go in for risky deals, the better off. If we fear loss, we shall not be in business. However, it's like, how can I say? They're telling us they are invading us. Then you say, we are going to close everywhere. Nobody will enter here. Then they will say, but are you also going out? So you must be very careful. When you are looking at risk appetite, it means, are you willing to undertake any possible loss, financial? And the bigger you get, the more return, which is possible. But it goes with the timing, and it also goes with research. When we're in the village, normally, where we are, even some of us stay in places where we are slightly having neighbors. Madam from house 1 and house 6 can bring information unpaid for. Atenga tefuna, na ine etabula. Ono musajja wo, akoze bwati, bwakola bwati. That is research. Bring for free information. Then you observe in the war, what am I doing? So in business, before you take a risk, carry out a research. Those people in that market, what are they doing? When you talk about a market, akatale, there is a seller, there is a buyer, there is government, there is abatambuze, there are those who just pass and look around. There is a financing person. There is a person owning the land, among others, the transporter. All of us form what is a market. All of us are players in the market. Then observe and see, am I going to fail? You look at yourself. Today is a past tense. Every day, wherever you're in a business, count it as past tense. Look at 2-3 years from now. In a case, what do I do? You will not commit suicide if you think 3, 4, 5 years ahead of you. I am aware of my colleagues. I was a civil servant for some time. I worked with government for about 25 years and I retired. But what keeps us in government is there's something called pension. Is it gratuity? So when people don't want to risk and to leave that thing. And when they see you going, they really moan for you. Oh, go against and go live here. Whatever. In fact, when you tell my company, they say, so you see, when you don't take risk, yeah, there's what you call time value of money. That's why you do look financial management. Centers of it is more worth than center you get tomorrow. Because tomorrow, you'll get your 60 million as a civil servant. Yes, wonderful, God bless you. But as you come out, it's like a cat which is used to milk at home. When you give it all the ammunition to go and start hunting, it will die in the doorway. So when you are there, my brother or sister, try to look, pull your areas and see what next can I do with this knowledge. Do not stick. Don't let nobody deceive you that business is only selling flour and sugar in the shop or selling tea in the hotel. No, 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 no. That's wrong. Once you are born, every public activity you take is a business. Even at home, that child who is picking those bottles and going to sell at a price, she is in a business. Oh, he is in a business. That one fetching water is in a business. It doesn't matter. The only time maybe we shall be out of business is when we are out of this body. But as long as the resources are still very limited, we are going back. One, what should we do when we reach our shop? When we reach our place where we work, where we are going to start. We are going to start at 0. Let us look at what more do I have which can give me life. Forget about parties. I talked about partying, laxity. People love to be said, you are good, yatuwamu, yatumanyi, kalulu tukua. But tomorrow they will not give you the kalulu, they are lying. That is fun. Always have plan B. I have teachers. You know, teachers sometimes have issues. One, they tell you that be creative. Now, the timetable reads from 8 to 7 p.m. Now, creativity is so limited. Now, but all the same, be creative and have somebody to do something for you. This shutdown has really, or lockdown, whatever they call it, has really taught some of us something. 1, 2, 3, 4 things. You know that you need a bicycle at home. You need a border. You don't need a car alone, because with the moment you put it, we say, "Olaga police bali wansia." We have to be very, very innovative. We are going to schools. Let's not compete with people who are above us. Gendra kumbera zo, move around. Jipime, where do I fit? Don't take a child. I sell some few things. But I cannot take my child to some school where they pay maybe 700,000 per term. Where will I get that money? I would be committing suicide. I have to go where so first of all, the first neighbor you must convince is your family. When you're going for business, don't rush to a business when you have not convinced your partners. Let them know you. Be honest. Tugenda na yetse tuli bulungi. Omukyala naye akitegeere. Don't just rush. Don't rely on promises. Promises are not contracts. Ogenda eno mugamba nwangambye mboyo agamba mvaako nebyange. And don't blame somebody. Don't blame yourself when things go wrong. Losses are normal. Right now, people are going to take advantage of us. They want our children for marriage. Even ourselves, we may think wrongly to take our children for marriage. We may be running away from homes. It's wrong. Sit down and form a party. At home, what do we do? What can we dispose of? And we move on. Do not run away from where you are now. Togenda mukyalo ntibinemye. Omukyalo ogenda kutandika bupya tona mazigezi g'ekyalo. You don't have that knowledge of the kyalo. The knowledge you have is for the town. No, now owekyalo oli mukyalo amanyi okulima. Don't rush this town. It is dangerous. Because in town, even as you drink water, you must know where you're going to take your susu. In the village, at least you can survive. And then members who are in the markets everywhere, to survive, also know about your health. Don't forget you when you are doing business. Give yourself rest. Now we're in times of Corona-19. Please don't become the 19th. Keep space. Mind about others. Check yourself from time to time. A dead person doesn't do business. And when you are a head of department, you're a minister, please don't monetize this time. Don't take advantage of people who are down there. No, this is omunyo, no. I pray if you do that, let God not give you a correct kalulu. So, children who are at home, think of the future. And when you reach classes like senior 6, they say, go and do entrepreneurship. You say, Then when you come to university, what do you ask? I want a BBA, BCom, Masters in BA, Business Administration. But you say you don't want entrepreneurship, and this is what we teach. So let's look at everything we do as business. Even the Bible says the Son of God was here on God's business. The Quran says, please multiply and help others. Our brothers who are fasting, they should also pray for their business, that God may bless it. The Christians also, please pray. Trust God in everything you do and let your business succeed. As we wrap up our sessions for today, I want to say one thing, that the times have been hard. Everything is in a mess. And we wanted to talk to you as partners. By the way, I have ever done businesses and they have failed. Others have succeeded. So I wanted to share with you that when you are going to the business, there are some few things which you should do. Please sit back, relax somewhere, and ask whether you are doing a correct business, or whether the business you have can survive after here. 2, make sure that after here, you treat your business. Look for specialists to look through your business. The accountants, the taxmen, even doctors to look at your own health. Please look for special people to look through you. 3, try to look around for the best way of getting financing, and make sure that you know your customer. You know how your product is performing. You know that you know yourself and have confidence. And at most, and number 1, it should have been, trust in God, pray, have confidence in your business and yourself, and love your business. And then you also know that as you set up a business, you have entered in too many contracts. So always try to satisfy every partner, every party in the contract. That is, would be doing well. And make sure as you go back, go with a winning confidence. God bless you.